Welcome to the Amphenol Broadband Solutions training on the Times Fiber Communications Series 6 and 59 QC2 connector with weather boot. In this training, we'll provide a QC2 connector overview, explain the QC2 connector features and benefits, look at the prep tools required for cable preparation and connector installation, show how to prepare the cable, and show how to install the QC2 connector. The QC2 is a universal compression connector that's ideally suited for professional and consumer use. Its one-piece design provides a secure 360-degree compression seal for maximum RF shielding performance. The all-metal design of the connector body and nut allow for excellent electrical and mechanical performance. It has an advanced pre-positioned polymer compression system to ensure a consistent fit with the cable. And each cable series is color-coded to allow identification between them. The Series 59 is tan and the Series 6 is brown. It's a one-piece all-metal design which provides shielding down to -120 dB at cable TV frequencies. The connector is universal and works on standard, tri-shield, and quad-shield cables. Now we'll look at the connector mechanics. The connector has an externally mounted continuous ground member, which eliminates costly service calls due to issues such as digital tiling and pixelation, which are typically caused by loose connectors. It also prevents signal ingress and egress by maintaining a ground plane between the main body and nut with post, even when the connector is in a loosened state. This doesn't mean that you don't have to tighten connectors anymore. Always follow your company procedures for tightening connectors. It has 3 internal weather seals, creating and maintaining an airtight seal. The first weather seal we'll look at is between the main body and the nut with post. This maintains a seal even when the continuous ground feature is engaged. Next is the seal on the compression ring. This maintains an airtight seal once the sleeve is compressed. The nut weather seal maintains an airtight seal once the connector is tightened to the F port. There's an external weather boot, which prevents moisture migration between the connector nut and male F-port threads. Once the connector is hand tightened, you'll slide it down to make contact with the device and expose the connector nut for final tightening. Next, we'll look at the tools needed for cable preparation and connector installation. The Times Fiber Connector Installation Toolkit has most of the tools you'll need. Nitrile rubber gloves, compression tool, cable prep tool, and cable cutters. You also need a 7/16" wrench, preferably a preset torque wrench, and a braid brush is useful. Now we're ready to prep the cable. Using the cutting tool provided in the tool kit or a diagonal pliers, make a straight, clean cut. Place the cable with the end cut straight into the prep tool until the cable hits the cable stop. This will ensure a 5/16 inch for the center conductor and a 1/4 inch for the exposed braid and foil lengths are achieved. If the cable end is angled, you won't get the proper 5/16 inch length for the center conductor. And never break off the cable stop, or the center conductor may be the wrong length. Rotate the prep tool about 4 times until you feel and hear it stop cutting. Pinch the end of the prep tool and pull it straight off the end of the cable. Inspect the cable, ensuring there's no pieces of braid or foil touching the center conductor. Long braids or braids wrapped around the center conductor indicate dull blades. With a bristle brush, brush the braid evenly over the jacket. Don't use your bare hands, as the oils and salts that are on your skin will get on the braid and foil and could cause them to corrode. This can also be accomplished using the gloves provided in the TFC toolkit. Inspect the braid fold back, ensuring it's even around the cable. By using the proper prep tool and folding the braid back properly, the center conductor will be 5/16 of an inch long with a tolerance of plus or minus 1/32 of an inch. The exposed foil will be 1/4 of an inch, and the braid will be folded back uniformly around the cable jacket. If using quad cable, fold back the outer layer of braid and then completely remove the outer layer of foil. And next, brush back the inner braid evenly around the cable. Now we're ready to insert the connector onto the cable. Here I'm showing the connector with the compression sleeve removed to give a better view of the inner post. The inner post of the connector slides over the inner layer of foil between the foil and inner layer of braid. The outer layer of the foil and jacket expands slightly to allow the connector to slide on properly. To install the connector, align the connector with the prepped cable end and slide onto the cable, applying pressure until the dielectric is flush with the top of the connector post. A gloved hand may offer a firmer grip if the cable is cold or when using underground or QuadShield cables. For QuadShield cables or other tough cables, it may make connector installation easier to separate the compression sleeve from the connector body. This may also make it easier to align the connector to the cable, as it eliminates a blind entry. Before compressing the connector, ensure that the dielectric is flush with the top of the connector post and not under or over inserted. Under or over inserting will change the 75 ohm impedance of the connector and can cause signal impairments. Now we're ready to compress the connector. Seat the connector and cable into the compression tool and compress fully. Don't trim the center conductor length. If the prep tool was used properly, it will set the center conductor length correctly at 5/16 of an inch. A properly prepped cable and connector installation will ensure a good weather seal and electrical performance. This cutaway of the connector shows the weather seals, continuous ground member, and the compression fit of the connector to the cable, braid, and foil. Next, attach the compressed connector to the F-port and finger tighten. Slide the weather boot forward over the threads, exposing the nut on the connector. Using an approved torque wrench, slowly tighten the connector until the recommended torque is reached. Do not over-tighten the connector. Let's review what we've covered in this training session on the QC2 connector. I provided an overview of the QC2 connector and showed the QC2 connector features and benefits such as the triple weather seals and continuous ground. We looked at the tools required for prepping and installing the connector. I showed the proper cable preparation steps and showed how to successfully install a QC2 connector onto the cable. Thank you for viewing this training on the Times Fiber Communications Series 6 and 59 QC2 connector with weather boot. For additional training topics, see our website at www.amphenolbroadband.com.